Hello, welcome back to Onward Fight Clan. Peter, nice to see you again. Welcome back.
Nice to see you again, Steve.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on last time and doing that. I appreciate it. And thanks for agreeing to come on again. I've got so much more to chat to you about. I know even when I very first invited you on, when I saw you in the flesh for the first time, I invited you on because I met you at one of the screenings and we were discussing the channel and stuff like that. And I said, well, you know, why don't you come on? And I remember you saying to me, oh, you don't know if you want to do that, you know, be a bit nervous and stuff like that. You know, I remember you saying that to me. I said, but you've got so much to offer. You've been watching the films for ages. We can have a good chat about it. Now, I didn't give you much of a chance to chat because last time I did all the chatting. I can't help it. I'm sorry, mate. You know what I'm like.
I enjoyed you carried the interview.
Thanks. Oh, I can't help it. Once I got into something, that was it. I had all these things. I don't plan it, but I have saying in my head of these are things I'm going to ask him about, but none of it came out. But that's what I like because there's no pen paper. There's no list of questions anywhere. I just want to have a chat with you.
I've only got two things I want to say. Just two.
Okay, no worry. No, but that's good. I'm not saying other people shouldn't do that. I'm just saying for me, I just like to, if I had a plan, a structure for when you came on last time, we probably wouldn't have discussed the censorship in the films, the boutique Blu-rays. We probably wouldn't have discussed it, right? It wouldn't have been on my list to discuss with you.
I think that was natural.
Right? I had no plan. I just, one thing led to another and we ended up there. I didn't know, oh, I'm going to chat to you about the posters behind you. And then it went into you started chatting about the stuff that came on terrestrial TV, BBC Two. But there's no plan for that. And that's what we're doing. We're just having a chat. There's no interview. I'm not an interviewer. I just like chatting about, well, not just Kung Fu films. I just like chatting, right? But that's what I'm saying. It's just real and it's natural. And I don't want anyone, including me, to be anything apart from who we actually are. Just real and genuine, and that's what you are. You're a real, genuine guy, and people will pick up on that. You know what I mean?
Thanks a lot, Steve.
Yeah, no worries. So you have some confidence, you know, in yourself. Yeah, exactly. We're going to have some more chats now. Now I'm going to take it right back to the start. Before you told me, yeah, right to the start. Before you told me how you got to know about Bruce Lee, your exposure was from World of Sport. Yeah. And you saw some clips. But what's your very first experience of watching Kung Fu films? You know, what do you remember the first film you saw?
Not quite, because as I said to you in the last interview, I was just getting dragged there and I wasn't really interested.
Dragged where? We're presuming that people will see that. To the cinema.
Yeah, Holloway, Curzon, Turnpike Lane. Where else was I dragged to? Sometimes Wood Green, but it was mainly Holloway and Curzon. Oh, what film was that? I think it was one of the Billy Chung films. What opened up my eyes? I think it was Crystal Fist. No, it was Crystal Fist. That's when I said, "Yeah, I like Kung Fu." Right. So you saying that it's possible that you may have seen some stuff before that. But it was I did. 100%. I saw stuff before that, and I was like, "Yeah, what's happening here?" Because when I went late night, remember they were all with subtitles, or most of them. All I can hear was like, you know, when they fight, you know, the sounds they make, and so I wasn't really that interested.
Yeah. You're not fully engaged with the film because you can't understand it. You ain't going to bother to sit there reading it. How old was you?
How old was I? I was about 14, 81.
Okay. 14. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, the likelihood of you sitting there now as adults, we make a decision. I'm going to watch a subtitled film and I'm going to read it. But back then, especially if you're getting dragged there, let's bring up some of these people that used to drag you there. Who are these people? Who are these people? Because they're responsible for your love of the Kung Fu films. So we got to mention them. Who used to drag you there?
My friend Neil Brand, mainly. Who else used to drag me there? Lloyd. He used to drag me there. It was them two mainly, but other people were about, like my friend Norman, he was about.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was interested in it. I think he was like me. He used to get dragged there too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Now, that's interesting. Do you still know these people? They're still about?
Yeah, one of them lives around the corner.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
the other guy, he lives, is it Stoke-on-Trent? Is it Stoke-on-Trent? Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's the main man who got me into it. My friend Neil Brand. He's the main man who got me into it. And we still chat now.
Well, if you still chat now, if you haven't asked him, can you ask him? And if you know, then obviously share that with us. Is he still into these films?
Yes, he is. And I know that personally.
Right. There you go. Right. So thanks very much to him, right, for exposing you to it. Because I mean, you know, your life would be different without it, but look how much more rich it is with it in it. You know, this stuff is, people who know, man. It's just, as I say, for me, it was real life superheroes. Seeing these things was something I'd never experienced before. Was nothing like the Hollywood stuff, because the Hollywood stuff to me that's all I knew, and it's fake in comparison to this stuff, you know. So it really just gets in your soul, doesn't it? It really does, this stuff. Yeah. So thanks to Neil, his name, right?
Neil, yeah.
Thanks to Neil for exposing that, entering that into your life, because it's bloody brilliant. And it's much better with it in it, isn't it? I mean, it's look, let's face it, right? These films can be seen as violent and fighting and this, that, and the other. But everyone who's into it and watches it are lovely, lovely people, right? They've all turned out amazing.
And also, when we did go late night in them days, believe it or not, there wasn't so many Shaw brothers.
Okay.
There wasn't that many. Okay, you had your Gordon Liu, 36 Chambers, Marshall Clubs, Legendary Weapons. But you know, like the older stuff from the 60s, they didn't show. It's just like thing. And the full circle, what I'm trying to explain there, I introduced Neil to the older stuff.
There you go. Yeah, payback.
And he really loves it. You know, like the old, is it Wushu? Whoosh?
Yeah. Yeah, Wu's Yar is the novels they were based on, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
I introduced it with that, and he really loves it.
Well, there you go, right? Yeah, paying him back for, you know, yes, it's as a thank you for him.
As a thank you, yeah.
Yeah, you open the door to more stuff. Yeah. See, I believe back then in like Hong Kong and China and whatever, back then with the Shaw brothers, they were quite protective of their films. I'm pretty sure that they made the films, you know, they were very successful, very big, very, you know, high budget studio. They made the films, played them in the cinema, and that was it. I don't think there was any vids. They didn't do vids, and obviously no DVDs, but I'm talking about back then. They didn't do that. It was, if you saw it at the cinema, you'd seen it, and outside that, you didn't. It was only when, I guess, people from other countries throughout Europe and United States and stuff, they wanted more of it, that they would start to approach them and get deals and bring stuff out and bootlegs and all. So apparently there was more Shaw Brothers stuff available outside of Hong Kong than in Hong Kong itself. That's where they played, that's where they were made, and that's where you saw it at the cinema. But as for owning it and watching it after that, no, it was one and done at the cinema, and it wasn't available to, they weren't available to buy.
Even when it comes to VHS, there wasn't that many, was there?
No.
It's only to is it IVL? Is it IVL?
Celestial Pictures and IVL. That's right. When they did that deal, I can't remember the year. I don't know when that started, but it would have been early 2000s, I think. Yeah. And that's when we started to get digital restorations of Shaw Brothers films. Not released here. They were still region-free Hong Kong DVDs. But yeah, that's when they done. Well, that wasn't even them themselves, was it? It wasn't Shaw Brothers themselves. I'm saying another company decided to. I don't know how it came about. But anyway, you're right. That's when we started to see more. But back in the days, go on. Sorry
about back in the day. I did have some DVDs before, but I'm sure they were pirates. Some of them were 4.3. I've still got 4 of them now.
Have you? Yeah.
Fist of the White Lotus.
Yes.
Dirty, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah, Dirty H.O., right? Dirty Ho, yeah. Yeah. What's the name of the film? Yeah, right? Yeah.
I noticed on, is it Facebook? You mentioned that post got taken down.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, maybe we'll be doing people a favour then.
Oh, yeah. Shaw Brothers.
Well, the vids I saw, so you've gone on to DVD, you think that they're bootlegs on DVD, but the videos that I used to get hold of.
I've got a few videos.
Yeah.
I've got Eastern Heroes.
Okay. Yeah. I can't remember what ones they released. Did they release some Shaws, did they?
Yeah. There was.
But you're still talking a Ridge, though. They're a Ridges.
No, it's is it Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers, they were Ridges, yeah. They were proper legit releases. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. What's have I got?
Should we try and go through some of those Warner Brothers ones?
Yeah, you can go through them. I'll tell you if I've seen them or if I've got them.
I mean, I don't know them. There's no way I know them all, but I remember.
Flames are Shining, I think.
Yeah, that and Return of 36. They both came out. Invincible Pole Fighters.
Oh.
8 Diagram.
No, I didn't have that one.
Okay, but that's the English. That's the title we got, right? 8 Diagram Pole Fighter was called Invincible Pole Fighters. So we had that. That was a Ridge legit Warner Brothers. The Killer, but not the Chow Yun-fat John Woo film. Killer. One Armed Swordsman, I remember. Heroes 2. Memphis Monastery. Legendary Weapons of China. Yeah, I can't remember if there was. I mean, there's definitely more, but I can't remember. Oh, 5 Super Fighters.
Okay.
Legit. Chinatown Kid was another one.
Okay. I think I might have only seen a couple of them at late night, not many.
Well, this is the thing. Like I said, to get stuff outside of the cinemas was actually difficult. I remember the first vids I saw, or the first time I started to see Shaw Brothers stuff, there was obviously someone doing it in the States. They were NTSC converted to PAL vids. So they were very misty, not very good quality, wicked dubs, proper rich, wicked English dubs. Loved the dubbing. That's why when I saw the Shaw Brothers films later, so the Celestial IVL stuff, as much as I loved that, most of the reason I loved that is because there was loads of films I'd never seen before. But the films I had seen before, I still liked watching them. I loved watching them. But I went, hang on a minute, I still want the English dubs. So I got done by that again. So, but that's because, again, that was my first introduction to him, watching him in English, right? But the qual was bad and this, that, and the other. But they had covers and boxes, but there was definitely a big bootleggy thing going on with that. So I did see some, but not many.
I think I saw. I know I saw 10 Tigers of Kwanton at the Curzon.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And can you imagine the end? 14 years old seeing that.
14.
No, I'm 14, and I saw the end. You know what happens at the end of 10 Tigers of Kwanton?
I can't recall. You can tell me. I can't recall. I've seen the film, right? T Long, it's got some of the villains in it. It's got Chin Sil Ho. I remember the film, but it ain't one that I've watched loads and loads of times because it ain't one of those films. I don't hate that film by all means. I don't, but that one, it never had a connection. I just watched it, and that was it. It wasn't one I watched over and over again. So you tell me what happens at the end. I don't remember.
Well, in the end fight, someone gets like a rope tied around their legs, hung upside down, and someone takes his head off with a kick.
Brilliant.
And and there's blood everywhere, and I'm like,
yeah,
at the screen, like, no, did I just see that?
I mean, you're right, and you believe you were around 14 at the time of seeing that, yeah, right? But you still didn't turn out like some kind of nutcase, right? You're all good, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm good.
See, that's the thing. I just thought I'd check, seeing things like that at that age. But you see, this is the thing. That's something they would have cut out for us. But you reason it out, and you were only young. But you could see it's more. I mean, that's definitely violent, right? But to me, that stuff was, I don't know, it's a bit more comic booky violence. You know, what's it, Invincible Shaolin, right? You got Chang Sheng. He's running around with a pole stuck out of his guts and whatever. I never watched that and went, you know, and cringe. I was a bit older, but I never cringed it and went, oh no, that's bad, you know, because he's still having a fight and he's got it out. And then you remember there's a bit where you know he pulls his chest apart and all that. It's violent stuff, but I never found it gory, or I don't know why my brain didn't see it as violence, but it didn't. It didn't see it as violent and gore. I can't tell you why. That's not how my brain processed it. I loved it. I was just enjoying it. Entertainment. Right?
Definitely entertainment. 100%.
Yeah.
No, what did I just see?
See, but the thing is, I'm going to have to rewatch, even if I just put the last fight on, I'm going to have to rewatch that now because, like I said, see, this is a thing, right? I'm telling you now, I have seen that film. It is somewhere, there's a few there. It's somewhere there. The IVL one is there, right? I've seen that film. I've definitely seen it on NTSC, Pan and Scan, converted to PAL Vid. I remember that being one of them. And I rewatched it when they brought it out on DVD. But you see, it's still, that scene still hasn't stuck in. I mean, it's either cut, right? Which I doubt. It might be. It might be, though, right? It might be. But that scene, it didn't stick in my head and go, I mean, it did use, but you'll use a 14, I would have been a much older. But it's not something that I you know, put all my energy into and went, oh, you remember this, that, you know, because, well, obviously it came and went. I can't even remember it. Maybe that's, I'm desensitized from watching all these Chang Cheh Kung Fu films. Damn it. Maybe I am ruined and damaged.
And remember what I said? I didn't get to watch a load of what you call it, Shaw Brothers in those times.
No. Yeah, well, there you go. So that's a good point, right? Because they were particularly, or could be particularly, well, violent, I suppose. Yeah.
I'm sorry to change the subjects, but sometimes I talk to my friend Neil, and we talk about films, what we've seen at late night, what have never been released. He'd say to me, "Do you remember that film when blah 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 happened?" And I'll be like, sometimes I think, okay, I do remember it. And the ones that I probably can't remember was probably at the time when I was getting dragged there.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to remember the names of the films, are you? Or know anybody that's in the films. You might recognize him. That's the bloke in the film I saw last week. But you can't engage with it in the same way because you're too young. And like you say, you were dragged there. Yeah, so you don't remember. But you'll remember bits of it, right? So when he talks about bits, you might remember it. But you won't always be able to remember the film, will you? Yeah.
No, you won't, because unless you're watching it, like I watch, I don't know, these two all the time. Yeah. I can, you know, definitely remember them. But when you've seen something once, and you can probably remember bits of it, but you won't remember it all. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And it's easier for us now, right? So you could try and remember an aspect of that film. So I had this recently where the young fella I used to have him growing up watching, well, it's called Dragon Claws with Wang Danglu. And I had that on like a time-coded vid. So it obviously was getting a release somewhere. And he used to watch it over and over again. Way more than me. You know, I'd seen that film once or twice, and that was the end of it for me. But for some reason, he had a connection with it. And to him, it was Red Man, Green Man, I believe. Red Man, Green Man, Red Man, Green Man. You know, sometimes a kid has a connection with something. Red Man, Green Man, Red Man, Green Man.
May I present my friends, Red Man and Green Man.
And as a full-on bloke in his mid-20s, he said to me, "What's the film that I used to watch?" And I went, "Well, I don't know," because there was so many vids. I just used to shove them in the vid, and that was it. And he said, "I remember it was Red Man, Green Man." Now, at the time, he said it was definitely a Kung Fu. It was Red Man, Green Man. Now, at the time, I didn't know what he was talking about because I hadn't watched Dragon Claws over and over again. I've got a VHS. I've got the Ridge vid. And like I said, I had this time code. I don't know why I had that, but I had a time code of it as well. Now, so I know the film, but not massively. Not like Drunken Master and Snake and Eagle Shadow. No, I didn't watch it like that. It's just one I've seen. So I couldn't say to him, "Oh, that's Dragon Claws." But we've got internet now, right? So one way or another, I put in the right things where eventually someone somewhere, I don't know, I can't remember now when it came up, gave me the clue that Dragon Claws. Then I looked the film up. It happened to be, I didn't have to go and grab my vid, right? I looked it up. It happened to be on YouTube. I found it, press play, Red Man and Green Man.
Red Man and Green Man.
Then I could go back to him. I found it. It's Dragon Claws. Can't do that back then when you were 14 going to cinema. You can't do it now if it's never been released.
Yeah, that's. Oh, there's some films where my friend says he can't find them. I think a lot has been lost. Okay, there's probably those independent titles, more than likely.
Yeah,
a lot have been lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, and probably lost for good. That, and not only that, right? We know that this Blu-ray market and everything, they're only gonna. I mean, I think we've been quite lucky with some of the films they've released, but they're only gonna be able to release what they can get hold of, and even stuff that they can get hold of. They ain't necessarily going to release it because if they don't think the sales are there, then they ain't going to do it. Look at chess boxing; it never even got its own release.
You know what? With that film and all, as I said earlier, that's probably my favorite. Oh, that's the film I've watched the most over the last 3 years. 100%.
Yeah, there you go. And they released it, so you love it, I love it. They released it, and it came as a bonus disc with, what's it called? Sword of Swords? Is that the film?
Yeah, I bought the disc somewhere. I've got it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So it didn't even get its own, release.
Do you think that film's too late night for the audience? If it makes any sense.
Yeah, I do.
Because that's what I mentioned to someone when I went to the screening. I said to, I mentioned it to mine. I said to him after the screening, I think this film's too late night for the people because I expected more people to be there.
Now I couldn't go to that because I was ill. I simply couldn't go because I was ill at the time. But to me, I was the same as you. I said to my bro, should we? He was ill as well, right? Even though we don't live together, he was ill, I was ill, and we thought, oh, we've got a week, we'll be all right. Wasn't right, so definitely couldn't go. But that was one where I said, this one we might not be able to turn up. We might have to book this, right? Because it's to me, this is definitely going to be a sellout. This is the right thing. Should be at the cinema, should be with other people, like you say, an old late night classic. And then I remember Rodney, I said to Rodney, hey, Rodney, what's happening? Because he was there. I said, what's happening? What's the turnout? He's like, man, not very good, And that was confusing for me. Because I also thought it was going to be a sellout.
I was confused.
Maybe it didn't help that he did it on Mother's Day. I'm just saying.
I don't know. It's what's the word? You never know. It's like if you just knew the formula, what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, we'll stick to just screenings for a minute because we're chatting about that, and that's the flow that the conversation has taken. I also couldn't make Snake and Eagle Shadow the other day, and that was because it was Bank Holiday Monday, so I couldn't make. I'm sorry, Good Friday, so I couldn't make that either. However, that was packed, right?
Yes, it was packed.
Now, I just thought to myself when that happened, sometimes you got to just. Like you say, you never can tell. You never know. But you know what? You can kind of rely on Chan, can't you? Jackie Chan, you know what I mean? It's both things. It's him and the film. I wasn't surprised. Let's put it this way. I wasn't surprised that him and that film made that happen. I wasn't surprised.
But you're saying that, but Project A, I can't really remember it properly, but it wasn't.
I agree with that, but as much as I like Project A, and I do like that film, it's not a film that loads of people have seen and love. It's not one of those Chans, right? It's not weird. I like the film, but what I'm saying, it's a little bit weird. The English dub on that film, even back in the days, as much as I love English dubbing, right? you had different experiences. You watched most of yours at cinema with subs. I was watching stuff in video shops that was English dub. I never liked that English dub. I always thought the English dub was crap compared to the others. It was all different voices. And at the time, me and my bro were like, this dubbing's a bit crap. Not saying that made a difference. I'm just saying that was never good. So that one, when I managed to watch that came out in Cantonese, I was more than happy to ditch the English dub of that one and go, you know what, from now on, when I watch Project A, that one is in Cantonese. But that is a bit of a strange film, pirates and strange era. And I remember my cousin, he really liked that film loads. And for me and my bro at the time, we did like it, but it wasn't a Chan that we went, wasn't a Chan that we would show others. Chan was films that we would grab and show others, aunts, uncles, friends. We would promote it, not meaning to promote them, but to go, you don't understand. Stop watching Terminator and Red Scorpion with Dolph Lundgren. Look at this. Stop watching Bloodsport. Look at this. That's all we were using. But we never used Project A for that. Maybe the scene with the bicycle, because that scene's so long, so intricate. It's got loads of different things. It's got some fighting in it. It's got some stunts in it. I mean, that's amazing. So you use that, then ends with the clock tower. So we use that sort of a thing and go, yeah, watch this. But it was never a film where we'd go, sit and watch this. Whereas the other ones, Snake and Eagle Shadow, Drunken Master, Armor of God, Police Story, they were ones where we'd go, check this out. So I don't think it's a real treasured Chan. I treasure it and think more highly of it now than what I did growing up. Now I see I did like it, but I'm not doing a good job of explaining this, really. I did like it, but it wasn't one of the Holy Grail versions. Whereas now I watch it and I go, you know what? This film is amazing. Now I watch it with different eyes. So I agree, but I know what you're saying. You're like, but that was a Chan. But I don't know. That one didn't surprise me that it was a little bit lukewarm. But I would have been surprised if Snake and Eagle Shadow didn't have a good crowd. It's just, it just is what it is. I've even got a friend who don't watch Kung Fu's, and I said to him, it was on TV once, and I said to him, do me a favor,
watch it. Just
watch this when it's on tonight at 9 o'clock or whatever. I know you don't watch Kung Fu films. Just watch this. I want you to watch it because it's something I grew up. It was really wasn't my first introduction to watching these Kung Fu films, but like yours, Crystal Fist, it was the one that made me go, okay, I watch Kung Fu films. That was the film that done it. I'm not saying it's going to do that for him, but I have faith in it. If he told me it was crap, I'm adult enough to go, yeah, no worries, all right, it's crap. Don't mean what it means to you that it does to me, but I have confidence that film won't disappoint, even to someone who doesn't know it. And it's made donkeys years ago, right? And he knew. It's like, yeah, it's brilliant. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't do that with Project A.
Not
because it's crap.
No, that is crap. I'm glad it did do well because that's my favorite Jackie Chan film.
Ah, is it? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm happy to see it.
Yeah. Exactly, and it's one of the best. It's one of the best Kung Fu's. There's some films that have got it all and do it all well. This was one of them.
That's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I think a few months' time, Drunken Master, Kung Fu Cinema's gonna, I think in May. Yeah.
I saw, yeah.
A few days before my birthday.
Oh, okay. We can celebrate.
Talking of birthday,
yeah.
I might be doing something like on the Sunday before it.
Okay.
A little gathering.
Well, I mean, I'm presuming there's a reason. Maybe are you telling me for a reason?
Maybe you could come along and
what
could happen there.
I appreciate that. Yes, brilliant. Thanks, mate. Yeah, of course. Happy birthday for those times, and I appreciate the invite. Of course, I'll come. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks.
Oh, you know what this is?
Well, a projector, maybe.
Yeah, an outdoor projector.
An outdoor projector. Does that mean it's waterproof?
Not quite, but I know.
That's brilliant, mate.
So
you're thinking of doing your own screening, putting some congas on?
what's it called? You know, what's that thing? Private home use only.
That's right. That's what it says.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm doing. Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good, mate. Yeah, brilliant.
First, I had a few friends in the back garden.
Yeah, watching the Kungs, man. You can't go wrong with that, right? That's perfect celebration, right? Yeah. Who gets to pick the films, though?
Oh, Rodney.
Well, surely it's Birthday Boy that picks the films, right? I mean, come on. Yeah. You could pick the films.
I'll pick the
films. None of them are going to be crap. We know that for sure. They're all going to be brilliant. So, yeah. Look, we'll go on to late nights now, if that's all right. Yeah? Okay. So, it's kind of how I know you. I don't know you from late night because I never went to late night, but it's kind of what I attach to you because remind me the name of your Instagram. Is it Late Night Kung Fu
Films? Yeah.
Late Night Kung Fu Films. You see, so
no, I can't even remember it. I'll have to...
Okay, well, I think it's late. Let me just. That's all right. I'll just double check. Let's have a look. Late Night Kung Fu Films. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
So I always have some relation to this guy. Is obviously a late night bloke. Okay. Then we're in that Kung Fu group.
Okay.
Which the Kung Fu Cinema group, and I was only in that after I came to one of the screenings, the Drunken Scorpion screenings. And then, so I had a chat with you there. Maybe I didn't have a chat with you. No, the first one I went to was the Project A. I didn't. We briefly chatted.
We sort of.
We set up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I smiled at you.
Yeah. We did this, said we were going to catch up, and we did. But in the meantime, you were in the group, and I could see, right, this bloke, he's the late night bloke. I had to put 2 and 2 together. Is that Instagram bloke, that bloke? Yeah, 2 and 2 together. So I've obviously got this thing, and it's obviously a big thing for you, right? It's a big part of your history, big part of your makeup, and something that means a lot to you. We've said about the age, around 14. We've talked about the people that dragged you there and why you were there. We've mentioned the film. Crystal Fist was the film that got you in. But Crystal Fist, you saw it late night as well, right?
Yeah.
Crystal Fist was the one that said, well, that's it. This is the best. This stuff is amazing. And what I'm going to do, you kindly sent me some posters. But before I bring them up and we discuss them, I want some sort of understanding of why the hell. First off, how did you get hold of these little flyers? Why did you get hold of them? Why did you want them? How did you get hold of them? And why did you keep them? I mean, I'm so glad that you did.
That's amazing. Those things could have gone. What's it called? Those things could have disappeared anytime. But for some reason, I kept them. And that must show my love for these films. How did I get them now?
Yeah, exactly. Why did you? How did you get them? So, okay. You've got to take me back with you, right? Because I wasn't there.
Okay.
Where are these A4 size?
Yeah, the A4 size. Usually they'll give them out. You know when you go to the screening?
Yes.
You can collect the next one on the way out. And they usually put them in shops. You know, like shops where they think people would want to see, that video shops, the local Chinese shop. They'll have the flyer in there, so you just pick them up.
Okay. So there are reasons why you got it. They used the flyer to promote the next one, the next screening. So you took it, you kept them, but you took it, maybe or maybe didn't keep it. And in the local shops, they were on the counters for advertising. Yeah. So there were ways to get hold of them. Okay, that was my first question. Like, where'd you get them from? They're not big enough to put outside the cinema on the wall. They're only little, but they're promotional flyers. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Do you have Okay. You don't know why you kept them. You know why you picked them up, because you like the film. I picked them up.
And there was times where I was going to throw them away, and I'm glad I didn't.
Mate, yeah. I'm so glad you didn't. Again, historic.
Yeah. I even lent them to someone who photocopied them, and he brought them back.
Hey, you know what, right? That is wicked, because that can be, and I've had this in the past, what people can be like. They can really let you down with stuff like that. And I've had it plenty of times, and I can remember all the things as well. I'm not going to bring them up. I can remember all the things that never came back.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I say they never came back, they never came. I mean, I managed to get them again. They never came back. And this guy, you lent them to him, first mistake, but it weren't in this instance because he gave them back. Yeah,
also,
good. So he should, you know. Why is that a good thing? I mean, it should be natural, but you know, often that's how these things get lost.
Yeah, that's how they get lost. And I'm just glad what's the word? Really, I didn't think no one would be interested in him, and I'm glad you do, Steve. I was thinking, what can we talk?
I am so excited to go through these posters, these flyers. Thanks so much, Peter. Yeah. Okay. Don't open it up and prove that they're real, and you've got them right. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Right.
Curzon, that's a cinema, one of my favorite cinemas. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I did see. Oh, I thought I didn't see this one there, but I did. You know, Heroes of These.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Sea Lion versus. Oh, that's the film I'll talk about. 10 Tigers of Quantum.
Okay, right. Put it away, Peter. We're going to get some up on the screen, right? So people can see them better. But that was just to show that he's actually got these things. He's kept them. You even real respect them. When did they make it into an A4 little folder there with the fire pocket?
Okay. Marlon came around my place and I was showing him the posters and I just had them scattered. And he goes, "Why didn't you put them in an A4 thing?" I thought, okay, I will. But as you notice, I did have them in there before because they've got Puncher.
I saw, yeah, the Hole Punch. Yeah.
Yeah. I shouldn't have done that, but you know, when you're young and dumb, you just do things like that.
I didn't know that I saw the Hole Punch marks. I didn't know that you'd done them. And it's not young and dumb. It's the dumb thing. Actually, it shows me that you cared and you was trying to look after them, right? You're hole punching them to store them. Yeah, no, you're hole punching them to store them. So, no, it's all good. I'm really grateful that you shared some of those with me and sent me some pictures of them. Thanks so much for doing that. It's such a historic time that I couldn't experience. I would love to have experienced, like many people. So thanks for sending the photos. Really appreciate it.
And I wish I'd experienced what you and Rodney experienced with the one near Caledonian Road. Is it the cinema there?
Oh, the Scala?
Yeah, I didn't experience
that. Okay, yeah, well, there you go. You know, lots of different experiences. One of my favorite experiences of one of those showings is Two Champions of Shaolin.
Okay, I didn't.
It's a Venoms. I'm trying to think. It does have another name. Anyway. Right, I'm sure that was the film. And it's a great film, but it doesn't for a long time, it doesn't have loads of fighting. Not loads, right? Now, it's the first time. No, it weren't the first time I'd seen it, I don't think. But anyway, it was at the cinema. And as you know, with those events, the people that go, they're really friendly. So they're people, you know, there'd be times where, I don't know, I'd walk past them or bump into these same people on the street. And because we don't know we're into the Kungs, obviously we wouldn't stop and chat about the Kungs. But when they're in the same environment and you're there for the same reason, even when you go to the toilet and someone is in there that is a complete stranger. I mean, I'm a pretty friendly guy, but obviously when I was younger, I wouldn't have been as confident and wouldn't have been as friendly. But even so, these other people, and a lot of them were older than me because I was only young, they were lovely, really friendly. And I have to say, it was a surprise sometimes to go, oh, this big mean looking guy is lovely, right? I'm just going off of perception, yeah? And I'd go, brilliant, but it's good. That really helped me in life to not judge a book by the cover, be so judgmental, because I'd had these experiences when I was only young. My brother's 3 years older, so he can always be sort of have that thing of looking after me a bit, right? So maybe I was too young to go to these things. I weren't too young, but I always had an older chaperone, right? My brother. He wanted to go as well. He weren't taking me. We went together. But because he's older, I guess my mum and dad could always just go, yeah, going with Gary. It's all good. They're going to look after each other or whatnot. But, I was still 3 years younger. So going into some of these environments with these blokes, because a lot of them were big, massive blokes, honestly, it was a really good experience. Not just watching the Kung Fu's, but, the mixing with the different types of people.
Yeah.
To interact with them and for them to be so nice, so welcoming, just open my eyes to going, right, well, I was only young. It was a good time to learn that people overall are nice. And the thing that brought us together was the Kung Fu's, right?
Yeah, and it probably brings us together now. Definitely.
It does. It does. That little community, they're so nice.
The funny thing is, when I saw one of your interviews with Rodney, you used to cross each other's path and not talk? Or...
Yeah. I think, I always find that weird. When I think about it, it's like, well, why is it weird? I don't know the bloke. So if I go to a cinema now and watch whatever, some crap new film, I'll go and watch it. Of course, I don't speak to anyone in the cinema, and they just. But the reason this is a little bit more strange is because the next time I go and see a film, I don't really go cinema. But let's just say I go and see whatever. I went to see June 2, whatever's out now. The next time I go and see whatever next film, it's not going to be the same people. It might not even be the same cinema. This was the same cinema, same people, same style of films. So the fact that I'd never even recognized his face, there's loads of people from back then where I could go, I don't know who they are, remember him, remember his face, know of him, know his name, chatted to him sometimes. There's a lot of people like that. But the fact that he was at so many of the same ones, and I don't even remember ever seeing his face, bumping into him in the toilet, nothing.
Well, the same sort of things happened with me and Marlon. Believe it or not, he used to live near me. And
right.
he knows people I know.
Yeah.
But I never only come across him, I don't know, 2021.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yes, that's recent. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's amazing. When I used to go late night, you knew people I know.
Yeah, so you can bring up those people. Like you said earlier, yeah, Lloyd used to go, likelihood that someone's going to go, yeah, I know Lloyd.
Yeah. In fact, I'm going around someone's place tomorrow who knows him. See?
Right?
Yeah.
There you go. So it's, like I said, the community just seems to be so nice. Some things can be bitter, poisonous, nasty. I wouldn't be involved in that stuff because... well, it's no good for our energy. But I find the energy with the Kungs, overall nice.
Talk about energy. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, don't really frequent it. As in, I'm going to say I've only been on Facebook recent. The last 6 months or something. So why have you asked me that though?
I'm banned from Facebook, so I don't.
Okay, right. Well, there you go. Now, Facebook was always one of those things. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I ain't interested in that. I had a bad impression of it, as in, it's not real. I'm going to be on there with people I don't know. And everyone used to say to me, so my cousins that would go, yeah, but you don't have to accept those friends requests. You can just accept mine and whatever. But I found it. Look, I've forgotten that me and you are on camera chatting, right? Because me and you are just having a chat. Right. But the facts are the facts, right? I'm going to post this on a public thing called YouTube, and my face and that is out there. Now, I never wanted to do that. I never wanted to do that. This is something that has been a difficult obstacle to overcome. The only reason I do this is simply because of things like this. The more interactions I have, the more I enjoy doing it. But to actually put my face out there and chat about these things, that was a very difficult obstacle to overcome. Very private, very reserved, but it got to a stage where I went, I've got all this Kung Fu stuff and I love this stuff. Dash some of those vids away that I discussed, those vids, and then went, what do I do with this stuff? Right? As in, I don't have a big house, don't have a mansion, I can't frame all the posters, I can't put them up. it's just stashed away, you know. And I went, you love chatting about it. Maybe you should consider, I was talking to myself, consider chatting about it, right? That's why it started. But even so, some of the first things I did, you know, was no face, just audio, stuff like that. But eventually I went, you're either going to do it or you ain't going to do it. And if it causes you any bother, you just turn it off. Just switch it off and delete the channel and move on, right? Because if it causes me grief, that's what I'd do, right? I'd go, no, bad energy. This is going to cause me grief. I'm not going to do it. But that's what I'm saying. I had roadblocks to get over. So things like Facebook was like, no, I'm not doing stuff like that. I'm private, whatever. But Rodney, when I got, see, he's only a new friend, right? He's a new friend as well. Instant friendship, instant, right? For the love of it, right? Like I've known him for donkey's years. Look how I'm chatting to you now, right? It's like I know you donkey's years, right? But
that's nice.
I didn't know him before. He's not someone I've grown up with. I only know him now. And I said to him, and he was brilliant, right? He'd go, you're going to this next week. You're doing this, and that's on, and that's on. I went, this is brilliant. Because over the recent times, when I was a kid, for some reason, you've seen that podcast, so I said this to Rodney, for some reason, you know, we all made it to these screenings, these events, without Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook. We all made it to these events. And now I can't make it to these events, as in I don't know about any of them. I never knew. I said, I don't know about any of these things. Oh, Carter Wong was at the whatever Comic-Con. Why wasn't I there? You know, someone told me the other day, I haven't posted it yet, but I did one the other day. He said, oh, you know, I had my poster signed by whatever, Donnie Yen. Well, where did you meet Donnie? I mean, you know, I've met him, but he said, where did you meet him? Oh, he's at Comic-Con, you know, for Star Wars, you know, a crap reason, but for Star Wars. And I went, well, I would have gone to that. So why didn't I know? So I've tried to get better at things, subscribing to this, subscribing to that, trying to get better. But social media don't work for me. I'm just not on it enough. Rodney became my social media. Are you doing this? Are you coming to this? I said, thanks, Rodney, for telling me. How do you know all this stuff? And he said, Facebook, mostly. You should get on there. So it's his fault that I'm on there. And I said to him, that's all well and good. And he's right. There is stuff on there. But I still don't see it because guess what? I don't go on it. You know, I don't go on it regular enough to see the stuff. But I'm telling you now, that's the only reason I'm on Facebook, because under his advice, he said it's a good thing to do because you will find out more. Now I've agreed it with him. You can carry on telling me, Rodney, so I don't have to go on there. But I'm crap, really, right? I don't promote the stuff I do. I don't put it on there. You know, he does. He's another really nice bloke. You and him do, right? You know, I'm not relying on you guys to do it, but that's how nice these people are, right? That's how nice you are. That's how nice he is, that they'll go, check out this new podcast from me, mate. It's like, man, you know, I'll get a bit emotional about it because people, you know, they're nicer than they need to be. It's lovely, you know, and the same for you. From the very first time you even knew the channel exists, you came up to me. That was probably my first experience of someone having know and recognize me from this channel. It was you coming up to me in that cinema at the end of Project A, passing, and you saying to me, I've seen your vid, your channel. I watch your videos. I've seen you've done one with Marlon. I've not watched it yet, but I will. I was like, who was that wicked bloke? You know, I was coming out of my brain and went, how nice was that, right? I got a genuine interaction from someone who found out, however he found out about the channel, and he's bothered to talk to me about it. Just nice. You've always been, you know, you leave comments, you always post stuff. Amazes me. So thanks. I'll use this opportunity now to say thanks for that, Peter. I really appreciate it. You and Rodney, you know, lovely.
Yeah,
thanks.
Thanks for inviting me to come on your platform. As I said, I'm not used to this, but
that's all right. Look, with all these things, we need to show real. We need to show genuine,
people, genuine interaction.
Yeah, right. People, I hope that people will gravitate more towards things like real, genuine people, heartfelt chats than fake acting. You know, which is what it's been for ages, right? These platforms and that they were there to. Well, I understand what happened because people do the fake acting and they shout and holler and hi guys and this, that, and the other.
The more things you get.
Yeah, and they've done well out of it. So then that will create more and more of that. I don't know. I'm hoping that that's changing and people are sick and tired of that. And just you can't trust anything there. It's not real. It's not genuine. And to me, that's what you are. You're real. You're genuine. You're not being someone. You're just being you. You're just being Peter, the prodigal son. That's all you're being. That's all I want.
Do you know who gave me that nickname?
Tell me.
Tarek. I saw it on a post on Instagram yesterday, and I thought, yeah, I like that.
You know what? I tell Tarek this I tell him a lot, right? But that's another guy who essentially could go, I don't know him. I know him because he's always in pictures with Rodney, right? So then when I saw Rodney, I met Tarek. That's another bloke. Just the most nice, supportive person ever. I say to him, and I do tell him, I'm telling him it now because I'm sure, again, I'm pretty sure he'll be watching this. So again, thanks to Tarek, because that guy, and I do tell him a lot, so I don't need to use this to tell him, but as you mentioned him, I will bring him up as well, because that guy, I've said to him, Tarek, you don't have to be doing this, you know, thanks. And he says such nice, encouraging things like, no, it's no problem. We love what you're doing, you know, carry on. It's like, why? The fact that he's spending time to even just say these things is so nice. And it does help because it does make you go, all right, you don't need billions of people watching it. It's not done for money and stuff like that. It's done because I want to do it. But just this small amount of interaction, it's enough because it's the type you want. It's positive energy and nice people. So thanks to Tarek as well. And there you go. And he gave you your nickname.
And I do love it.
Yeah, you should. Well, of course you do. It's behind your head there. Look. Now, yeah. Listen, right, but this is how good these things are because, say, you know, like video games, PlayStation Network, this, that, and the other. Butcher Wing. So,
okay.
How weird is that, right? That you've got Prodigal Son, and sometimes, you know, on certain platforms, yeah, I get called Butcher because of Butcher Wing. Listen, you know why I used it, right? I didn't want to go with the run-of-the-mill stuff. I didn't want to go, oh, you know, Wong Fei Hung and blah 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 and this, that, and the other, right? I went, well, you know, I'm a little bit of a similar build to Samo. It's an amazing film, so I went, all right, let's go with Lam Sai Wing, a little bit more, you know, if you know, you know. But I went, no, he's his student and he's the butcher, and I went, yeah, it's a good name, so that's why I went with it. But it ain't thanks to Tarek. He never gave it to me, and to be honest. No, but if someone gave me that one, I'm not sure I'd have been too happy. I'd go, what are you trying to say? You know what I mean? Ain't that big, am I? But anyway. So, yeah, thanks to Tarek and all you guys, all wicked blokes.
Okay. I'm looking at the time. Is there another one? Is there time?
Yeah. You know what? I like the fact you've noticed that because I've already said here, now, let's get into the posters, right? But if we do, I know I'm going to spend ages on them. I'm not cutting that short. I want to. Okay. I'm also happy for this to run for 2 hours. But I sometimes, and if it did, right? But you're right. It has come to a natural thing where we can end this one and then means that people don't have to sit through 2 hours of it. And we'll move on to the posters on the next one. I think you're right. I'm going to take your advice. And as long as you're happy, which you are, and I'm happy, we'll end this one here. And we'll reconvene for another one. So thanks, Peter. Next time, I'm not going to promise it because if the chats go where the chats go and we don't get onto the posters, then we don't. But I'm going to try and get onto the posters or the flyers. Yeah?
Okay.
So I'll see you for a new one, yeah? Thanks, Peter.
Okay. Thanks for having me on.
Nah, no problem, mate. Loved it. Enjoy the chats. Wicked. Thanks, mate. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
See you later. Thanks for watching.